This past April, while the world was waiting for the sky to fall due to the eclipse, I decided to jump on a plane and travel to California to hug a tree. Buckle up. I had planned a 7-day itinerary to travel up the coast of California, and my very first stop was Santa Barbara, California. I do not plan to voice over this entire video because there is wonderful audio to enjoy. My first day in Santa Barbara, I just wanted to absorb just the beauty, and I walked for hours. I think I walked for about 3 hours. It was beautiful. While in Santa Barbara, I did book myself a gourmet private dinner. And with this private dinner, we had the opportunity to go out to the farmer's market and pick all of the ingredients for our dinner with the actual chef. It was amazing. Throughout the tour, he provided information in regards to why he picks particular type of ingredients and etc. One thing that I found fascinating is all the fresh fruits and vegetables at this particular farmer's market smell like flowers.
So pretty. Look at the French way. I like the way the French way looks. I do not like
This is the chef handpicking all of the ingredients for our dinner.
We're picking peas for dinner. I've gotten very used to it.
It was a 5-course dinner, and this was the first course. It was really awesome to see many of the ingredients that we personally selected and how he prepared them. It was wonderful. The next day, this was my breakfast. I ate as much seafood as I possibly could. This was my dinner, and by the way, this water is amazing. Definitely pick some up if you've never tried it. What I loved about Santa Barbara is that there was so much space and opportunity to just be with nature. I danced a lot in the grass, and I was in California during my birthday, and I booked a sunset cruise. I'm not gonna lie to you, this is not really what I expected. I wanted more of like a yacht experience, but this came highly recommended.
Sails up and just enjoy this beautiful evening we have on hand.
It was fascinating to see how many people spend the night out in the water and live on the water. On my way home back to the hotel, I ran into a silent disco party. The next morning, I just went out to absorb the beach before heading out to my next destination. And of course, I had to get some more of that really, really great water and that wonderful breakfast. After 3 days in Santa Barbara, I was off to Cambria. The road trip to Cambria was absolutely stunning and breathtaking. It was a little scary because I had to go through a lot of mountains. The first thing I did when I arrived in Cambria is find food. I ate as much seafood as I possibly could find. And one thing I noticed is everything was named after the moon in this small town. And I didn't notice until after I left. Here's a picture of my hotel on the beach. It was absolutely beautiful, and I highly recommend staying there if you're in the area. This is my hotel room. It was clean, it was safe, it was cozy. The hotel came with many outdoor activities. The night before, there was a storm, and it sounded like the ocean was going to swallow us up. I was so scared. I've never heard water roar so loud. However, the next day I got curious and decided to walk close to the ocean and just figure out what the heck's going on. In the meantime, I found this random house and decided I was going to walk up to it to find out who lived in it. Yeah. Anyway, the beach was absolutely beautiful. I did spend time out in the water and walking along the beach and absorbing just the beauty of nature. I felt like I was in heaven. One thing I noticed is that the sand changed as I traveled up the coast. I was also amazed at the amount of women that I met along my journey who were traveling up the coast alone as well. Every morning in Cambria, I I would just find a quiet, quaint place to absorb the sun, the beauty of nature, and to take a really relaxing walk. I love the simplicity of life here, and after everything we've been through over the years, I really can appreciate it. This is where I am, and we are now headed to Monterey. Now, before heading to Monterey, I wanted to spend time in the actual town itself. The town is literally 1 block long. It's so small. There's only a population of 500 people here. I did see one other black person here. I'm from Oklahoma, which is primarily very white, so I'm used to being in majority white spaces, and I don't feel any sort of way about it. One thing I noticed is everything was named after the moon, which I found very fascinating. This restaurant was creepy. It was open, but there was nobody there, no work staff, anybody. This was my final goodbye before getting on the road and heading to my next destination. I just wanted to absorb the beauty one last time. Now off to Monterey.
Good morning. How beautiful is this? Wow.
On my way to Monterey Bay, I stopped at Murrell Beach to go canoeing. I did not get any footage of this particular part of the trip because I did not want to take my phone out into the water and potentially lose it. I will share with you that if you're in this area, definitely add this to your itinerary. The town itself is absolutely gorgeous. The canoeing in the bay was phenomenal. We got a chance to get really close and personal with seals and otters and all types of sea life. I even had the opportunity to get up close and personal with a oyster farm, and it was wonderful to take our canoes out to the actual oyster farm in the water and learn more about the process. After touring the oyster farm, I got really curious and wanted to try the oysters for myself. So I headed over to their store location to get me a nice, great big batch of fresh oysters from the bay. What I found so cool is that they shuck the oysters fresh in real time as you're ordering, and you can tell they put so much love into every single order. Locally, culturally, everyone just sits around and eats oysters. I found that fascinating. Not only do they sit around and eat oysters just casually on like a regular Wednesday, they drink a lot of kombucha here. As a black woman traveling alone, I felt perfectly fine and safe. I did see other black people here. Here is my oyster order. Enjoy. Now officially off to Monterey, and to be quite honest with you, I missed Morro Bay as soon as I left. I thought it was absolutely amazing, and if it wasn't in the middle of nowhere, I would definitely consider moving there. As soon as I made it into Monterey, I fell in love immediately. This is the street headed to the hotel. It is absolutely breathtaking. My hotel was kind of basic. It looks like a motel that they tried to turn into something more upscale, but it was clean. But I think I got spoiled in Santa Barbara because the hotels in Santa Barbara were really, really nice. However, I did not spend a lot of time in this hotel because I was out and about. This was the one thing I did like about the hotel, and I kind of played with them for a while because I was like, okay, yeah, it's great. And then I was off because you can't keep me in one spot. I was determined to find a great beach, and boy, did I.
Oh my gosh, I gotta get this on camera. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful.
Let me tell you, as soon as I got to the water, I danced and I jumped and I sang and I celebrated. I did not care who was watching. Also, I saw something really cool. The locals will actually go out into the water and fish for their food, and I loved it, and it was an amazing experience to see them disappear out into the ocean. I was at the beach for hours walking, singing, dancing, rolling in the water, in the sand. It did not matter. I wanted to absorb every single second. I'm not much into touristy locations, but one of the highly recommended restaurants in the city was in a touristy area, and I'm really glad that I followed through. The food was phenomenal. The food was so good, I ordered a second batch of their garlic oysters. This is my ride back to the hotel, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I'm not going to voice over much more of this video because I want you to enjoy the rest of the experience right along with me. Buckle up. Tomorrow we are going hiking in Big Sur. I absolutely love nature. Being in nature gives me so much peace. It makes me feel close to God. I booked a guided hiking experience in Big Sur. My hiking guide was the best.
Oh my goodness.
Beach down there.
Yes.
So this trail takes that we're going to take. But we're not taking the whole looping path. It's like 7 canyon right there. That ridge is a canyon that we're going to go into. And it goes all the way up and it loops around. But we're going to go in like a couple miles.
Okay.
And then we're going to come out. And then time permits.
So beautiful.
Well, that water is right below us.
So beautiful. Look! Look! Water. Pretty. Gorgeous.
Look up at it. You don't see that very often.
Going under. I should have had one of those cameras you put on your forehead, you know? That you just, yeah.
I have one. I use it when I'm out in the ocean fishing.
Oh, I went kayaking yesterday. Yep.
Monterey Bay?
Yep.
I have friends that went out there fishing.
Oh, not Monterey Bay, but Morro Bay. Oh, that's so pretty. It is so beautiful.
This moment was the height of the eclipse, and to be able to be in nature, spending time with Mother Earth at this moment was very spiritual and rewarding, and I will remember it forever. My hiking guide decided to take me deeper into Big Sur, and I'm so glad that he did. It was absolutely beautiful. Buckle up for what you're about to see. I left my hiking trip on such a high. I did have a little bit of a headache, and I found out later that was normal with the eclipse. I had such a great time, but the hiking event was just the icing on the cake. My last meal in Monterey was at this fish market and restaurant. It was really cool because one side of the facility you could purchase fresh fish or other types of seafood to take home, and then on the other side of the building it had this nice beautiful dining area. Before I headed out to catch my flight a few cities down, I headed over to the natural reserves to take in the beauty of the city, of the earth, of the beautiful gift one last time. And then I was on the road. I passed through Santa Cruz to see what it was about, didn't like it, and then I headed over to catch my flight, first class, back home. The food actually was really good, even though it did not look great, it was. While y'all were screaming and yelling, thinking the sky was falling, I was in California hugging trees.